Welcome to Books on Air, the podcast that tells the story behind the book. It includes insights from authors about how they compose their work, what inspires them, and what they hope you'll take away from their book. Here's your host for this episode of Books on Air, Suzanne Harris.
Welcome to the Books on Air podcast. I'm Sloan Fremont, filling in for Suzanne Harris. This is the podcast where listeners get the secret story behind every book. Joining me today is Adrian Kooistra, author of the book, Fletcher Babysits a Camel. When a special service job lands on Fletcher's desk, how can he refuse? After all, he's known for working on unusual cases and going to all kinds of places. So I want to welcome Adrian to the Books on Air podcast. And Adrian is actually nonverbal, so he'll be typing out his answers to the interview, and one of his staff members will be translating for him. So Adrian, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sloan. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you. So let's start by telling the audience just a little bit about yourself and what led you to write your book, Fletcher Babysits a Camel.
I'm excited, and I actually have 3 books. It's a series of 3.
Okay, awesome. And these are children's books, correct?
Fletcher Babysits a Crocodile, Fletcher Babysits a Camel, and Fletcher Babysits a Goat.
Okay, got it. So Fletcher is the main character in all your books.
And yes, children's books.
Okay.
He is a babysitter for unusual pets that get up to all sorts of mischief.
So tell us about some of the mischief Fletcher gets into.
First of all, can I say that I have cerebral palsy, and I'm so proud of myself for writing a book or 3?
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing.
It's my life dream to be an author, and it finally happened.
Well, it's amazing. We want to congratulate you for that.
Thank you. I'm proud as.
So tell us a little bit more about Fletcher in your book.
He gets up to all sorts of trouble and chaos, but in the end, he becomes good friends with the animals and loves his job.
Oh, good, good. So what are some of your favorite scenes that you covered in the book?
It's for ages maybe 3 to 8.
Okay.
I think my favorite part was working with the illustrator to get the pictures bright and colourful for attention and fun.
Yeah, yeah.
My favorite book is Fletcher Babysits a Crocodile.
Okay. So tell us more about that.
It was my first book, and I think the best one yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not often a boy babysits a crocodile.
Isn't that the truth? So what do you want people to know about Fletcher?
Fletcher is actually a real person in my family, who I named the character after.
Oh, interesting.
Fletcher is after money, so becomes a pet sitter. But unknown to him, he gets wild and wacky animals to be in charge of.
So in this book, Fletcher Babysits a Camel. Tell us, is there a favorite scene from that book that you enjoyed writing about?
Just making it unfold as a flowing, funny children's book was my favorite. Okay. It's rhyming and quirky. I think it flows easily for everyone.
Yeah. So are there any words or themes that you would use to describe the book?
Not just children, adults love it too. Quirky, funny, big, colourful, enjoyable and fun.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it sounds like it is. And learning about Fletcher and what his different experiences with all the animals. What surprised you most about writing your books?
How easy it was, to be honest. Writing it was the easiest bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was there anything that was maybe difficult for you that you were surprised about?
It just flowed off my fingers in about 3 hours.
Oh, wow. 3 hours? That's amazing.
Because I'm nonverbal, my brain just thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks. Until I can just explode my words onto a computer.
Oh, yeah. So they all just come out. Yes.
They go round and around in my brain, until I get a chance to type.
Mm-hmm.
And out it comes.
Well, sounds easy. Sounds easy enough. It wouldn't be easy for me, but it sounds like for you that it is.
I guess so. I think a lot because I can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
So more thinking equals more talent.
There you go. What would you say sets your book apart from other books?
Just the fact that I have quadriplegic cerebral palsy and my challenges as an author are much different to most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so hard to write if I can't just pick up a pen and go.
Right.
I need help at all times to write and live my life. So that's amazing to me that I'm an author now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something to be proud of for sure. Not many people can say that. Who would you say your book would appeal to and why?
Anyone who loves a short, quirky story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mostly kids, maybe 3 to 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But every adult who reads it loves it also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like the stories are timeless for all ages. Anyone can benefit, especially from a story of positivity and, just looking at the world a little differently.
And it's big and bright, so young kids will be drawn to it.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. Well, Adrian, I want to thank you for joining us today and being our guest on the Books on Air podcast. Adrian is the author of the book, Fletcher, Babysits a Camel, and 2 other books. Before we close out today, Adrian, what do you hope the readers learn or take away after reading your book?
People should take away that you should love everybody equally.
Mm-hmm.
We all have challenges, big or small, but we are all human.
Mm-hmm.
So love everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. You should also check out my Facebook and Instagram, Adrian Kooistra Author.
Okay. We'll link to that in the show notes.
Much love from Adrian.
Well, thank you so much, Adrian. Again, it was great to meet you today. And I have to say, I absolutely love your glasses. Those are so cool.
Bye-bye. You're lovely. Thank you.
You can find more about the book, Fletcher, Babysits a Camel, on Amazon. And I'll link to the book in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. You've been listening to the Books on Air podcast, brought to you on webtalkradio.net. You can also hear this podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Sloan Fremont, and I hope you'll join us for the next Books on Air podcast. Remember, you never know who's going to be here, and you never know what we're going to talk about. Thank you so much for listening.